Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in today's video, we are going to understand how to add ClickUp Task in Google Sheets. So here my objective is that whenever I'm going to create a new task in ClickUp, then automatically I want to add the same task in a Google Sheet in a new row. So now to do this, I need to build an integration between these two applications, for which I'm going to use this amazing automation software, that is Pabbly Connect. So here my trigger application will be ClickUp and my action application will be Google Sheets. So if you want to learn more about this integration, follow me through the screen. In this video, we are going to understand how to add ClickUp Task in Google Sheets. So here my objective is that whenever I'm going to create a new task in ClickUp, then automatically I want to add the same task in my Google Sheet. So now to do this, I need to build an integration between these two applications, for which I'm going to use Pabbly Connect. So this here is the home page of Pabbly Connect, and now to begin with this process, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can click on the sign up for free button and every month you will get 100 tasks for free. So now as an existing user, I'm going to sign in. Now this here is the all applications page by Pabbly. So here I will go to Pabbly Connect and click on access now to reach my dashboard. So this here is my dashboard, and now to create a new workflow, I will go to my right hand side corner and click on this create workflow button. So now in this dialog box appearing, I need to give my workflow a name. So here I've named it as add ClickUp tasks in Google Sheet, and on my left hand side you can see that these are the folders which I've created before. So I want to save this workflow in the folder named as ClickUp, and here I'm going to click on create. So as I did that, now I have arrived on a very important window which consists of trigger and action. Basically, trigger and action are the two most important principles or concepts of Pabbly Connect on which this entire automation and integration will depend. Trigger says when this happens, action says do this. Action is an automated response of your trigger application, and in a workflow you can only have one trigger but multiple action applications. So now moving to my use case, that is to add ClickUp tasks in Google Sheet. So now to do this, here I will go to my trigger window and I'm going to use ClickUp as my trigger application, and here it is. And now the trigger event will be new task. So this trigger will start working whenever a new task will be created. So now moving to my action window, here as I want to add the ClickUp task in my Google Sheets, so here Google Sheets will be my action application. And now the action event will be to add new row. So here as you can see that I have selected my action application and the action event along with my trigger application and the trigger event. So my objective is that whenever a new task will be created in ClickUp, then automatically that task should be added in my Google Sheet in a new row. So now to do this, firstly I need to establish a connection between ClickUp and Pabbly Connect. So to do that, here I'm simply going to click on connect. And now to add a new connection, here I need to mention the API token. So now I'm going to take you to my ClickUp account, and here I will go to this profile of mine, and now here I will go to settings, and in settings I will go to apps, and here I'm going to copy this API token. So if you want to regenerate it, you can regenerate from here, but I'm going with the existing one, and here in Pabbly Connect I'm going to paste the same, and now I'm going to click on save. So here you can see that a connection has been established between ClickUp and Pabbly Connect. So now moving to the workspace name and the space name part. So here my workspace name is Pabbly's workspace. So here in Pabbly Connect it is selected. Now moving to the space name. So here these are the spaces which I've created. So I want to use this space that is by the name of Pabbly Connect. So here I'm going to select it as Pabbly Connect. Now moving to the folder name and list name. So the folder which I want to use is by the name of ClickUp. So I'm selecting it. And the list name is add task in Google Sheet. So here I'm going to select the list name, that is add task in Google Sheet. So as I've selected my workspace name, space name, folder name and the list name. So as I will click on the save and send test request button, it is going to capture the most latest response from ClickUp. That means it will capture the most recent task which I would have added in ClickUp. So now here I'm going to mention the task name, that will be to create a social media calendar for February. And now here the assignee will be admin@pabblytudes.com. And now moving to the due date, that will be 15th. And now here I'm going to make this as the urgent priority, and here I'm going to click on save. So here you can see that a new task has been created. So the name of the task is create a social media calendar for February. Here is the assignee, that was admin Pablitudes. Here is the due date, that is January 15th, Monday. And here is the priority, that is urgent. So now I'm going to take you to Pabbly Connect and show you that when I will click on save and send test request, it will capture the most latest response. And here you can see that as I did that, I've got a response over here. So I'm scrolling down to the details, and let me tell you that here you can see that the name of the task, that was create a social media calendar for February, and here is the list name. Scrolling down to some other details, here you can see the folder name, that was ClickUp, and here is the date created. So now moving to this, here is the assignee name and the assignee email ID. So over here you can see that the task which I've just created in ClickUp is successfully captured over here in Pabbly Connect. So the first step of this automation is set up. That means now whenever a new task will be created in ClickUp, then automatically that task will get captured over here in Pabbly Connect. So this trigger will check for the new data in every 10 minutes. So our trigger application is a polling based one. So in every 10 minutes, it is going to fetch the response from ClickUp. So as I've got the details over here, now I want to add the details in my Google Sheet. So to do that, here I need to establish a connection between Google Sheet and Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on Connect. And now to add a new connection, I will simply sign in with Google. So here you can see that Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect is successfully connected. So now moving to the select spreadsheet and the select sheet part. So here you can see that the name of my Google Sheet is ClickUp Task, and it consists of 4 columns, that is of task name, assignee, due date and priority, and it consists only of one sheet. So here in Pabbly Connect, I'm going to select the spreadsheet as ClickUp Task. And here you can see that the selected sheet is sheet 1 automatically. So now moving to the details of task name, assignee, due date and priority. So here to mention all of these details, I'm going to use a method that is called as mapping. So basically mapping is to insert the data from previous step. So here I'm going to map it from the response that I've received. So here I've mapped the name as I've received a response from ClickUp, and now I'm going to map the assignee name. So now moving to the due date, here I'm going to map the due date. So here you can see that the format that the due date is given is a different one. So now I'm going to change it to a format that will be YY, MM and DD. So here to do that, here I'm going to add an action step. And now I'm going to use date and time formatter by Pabbly. So date and time formatter by Pabbly will help me to format the date. So here I'm going to click on connect. So here I'm going to map the due date, and the from format of this date is timestamp in milliseconds. And now the to format will be YYMMDD. So here it is. And now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So now here you can see that I have received a response, and this here is a positive one. So here you can see that I have got the date. So here the date is 2024 January 15th. So this here is the due date, and you can see that the due date that I've mentioned in ClickUp was also January 15th, that is Monday. So here in Pabbly Connect, I've got the date in the format which I wanted. So here I'm going to map the due date from the response that I've received. So now moving to the priority, again from the response received, I'm going to map the priority. So here, as I've mapped all of the details, this method of mapping is important so that every time I will receive a new response, so that response can be taken into consideration in these fields. If I would have written this information manually, in that case, this information could have become static, which means that it wouldn't change even if I would have received a new response. So to avoid that problem, we map the information. So now here, I'm simply going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see that I have received a response, and this here is a positive one. So now I'm going to take you to my Google Sheet. So here in this Google Sheet, you can see that the ClickUp task which I've created is successfully added over here in a new row. So here you can see the task name, assignee, due date and priority. That means the ClickUp task which I've created is successfully added in a new row in a Google Sheet. So this integration and automation is a successful one. That means now whenever a new task will be created in ClickUp, then automatically that task will be added in Google Sheets in a new row. Not just these applications, you can integrate a lot more applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you have any doubts regarding Pabbly, reach us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, you can visit us at forum.pabbly.com. If you have any pricing related query, you can visit this link. So if you like this video, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and do not forget to like, share and subscribe our channel.